Yeah, we're standing out here right about where the mall itself used to be. You can see what's left of it piled up behind us. But moving dirt out here at Eastland is a big deal, especially for the neighbors after years of no movement at all. Now though, City Hall is partnering with a local developer with lots of experience remaking old malls, doing out here at Eastland what they do best, starting over.
So we've got 80 acres of mud right now. But Eastland is such a defining name. You know, do you like the name Eastland or don't you?
Developer Tim Sidema says it depends on how long you've been here and whether or not you remember Eastland's good old days.
First East Coast Food Court, right here. A year-round ice rink, right here at Eastland on Central Avenue.
But then came the not-so-good old days. You know the story. Eastland Mall losing its customers, and then losing that Eastland name, and then finally, Eastland wasn't a mall at all. Just an 80-acre East Side eyesore, missing out on decades of Charlotte growth that you can actually see off in the distance.
Think about the residents here who've been dealing with, failed promises for all those years. And so we walked into that with our eyes open, knowing that this community needed a success and failure was not an option.
For Sidema's company, Crosland Southeast, success at Eastland starts with a new take on that old name. Eastland Mall will soon become Eastland Yards. 80 acres of new homes, new businesses, new parks, new everything. Over time, these Eastland drawings have changed, but not the Eastland vision.
Because this site is large enough to be transformative to the whole east side. As we look over this, almost 80 acres here, what can we do here that could actually invest in the community, that could provide community benefits? So this is not our first dead mall redevelopment. You're exactly right.
Yep, it turns out what they're building at Charlotte's old Eastland Mall is the same thing they did at Nashville's old Bellevue Center Mall and Richmond's old Cloverleaf Mall.
Here we saw a dilapidated mall that was getting worse with every year. It was definitely going to go the wrong way, and like a sickness, it was going to spread. So we had to stop that. Once we put the flag in, everybody started seeing the vision.
In Richmond, that vision is now called Stonebridge. It includes Richmond's largest Kroger grocery store in an area that didn't have a grocery store before, plus new restaurants and new shopping, and hundreds of new apartments and condos, all within walking distance.
This has been home, for the last 36 years. We've never had anything like this in our area.
Longtime neighbors in Richmond also love this new volleyball complex and rec center at the old mall. And in Nashville, Nashville's hockey team partnered at the old mall on this new ice skating center.
The cross! Oh!
And at Eastland, while a deal with Charlotte FC owner David Tepper for an Eastland team headquarters and soccer academy fell through,
the Tepper situation was a disappointment at the time, but where we're at right now, it's exciting.
The Charlotte East Neighborhood Group says Eastland Yards isn't just about turning a profit. It's about turning a corner towards East Charlotte's future.
Development too, it's about ensuring that our neighbors, the ones who have really built this community, created this community over the past 20 years in the mall's absence or the mall's decline, that their voices are heard too, and that we're not pushing our folks out. But the most important thing that it's going to bring, it's jobs. It's an economic catalyst for folks that have median paying jobs that they don't have to leave our side of town to get.
Many of the residents that have stuck it out for all these years have been hoping for something that could be successful here, that could create energy and excitement.
In fact, some of the future puzzle pieces are already in place, like an Eastland Transit Center, a plan for light rail streetcars in the future, and new schools right next to Eastland. But long-timers here add, don't forget Eastland's past either.
There's people saying, I ice skated at the Eastland Mall. There were a lot of people that loved the name Eastland. We actually also have the original Eastland sun signs. We've been able to track those down, and they're all worn and broken down, but we're going to try to resurface those and try to restore those into a place of prominence out here if we can.
Yep, Eastland's old sun logo, just like Eastland itself, ready to rise again.
We've been waiting for a very long time for this, and here we are. So it is a piece of our history, and it's a piece of our identity. At the end of the day, I believe that we can't miss on this. I mean, this is our shot.
Crosland Southeast adds that the housing out here at Eastland Yards will offer something for just about everyone. There'll be luxury homes, workforce apartments, and affordable housing for senior citizens. And once they're done moving all this dirt, well, actual buildings will start rising at Eastland Yards later this year, with the entire project finished in about 5 years.
Thanks for watching, and if you don't want to miss any more great regional stories, please subscribe to our PBS Charlotte YouTube channel.